Oh, boy. We're back. Welcome back to the Decent Dads Podcast. We're here to tell dad jokes, drink coffee, and build a community of dads navigating fatherhood together. I'm Bryant Young, fearless leader, co-host, girl dad, and your friendly local insurance agent based out of Springfield, Missouri. And now, before we get started on today's episode, please help me welcome the coolest co-host with the most, a fantastic father of two, and the home loan expert. Folks, put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Derek Chaney. How are you, DC? Welcome back, baby.
Dude, we're back. We're back. Back in the saddle.
Back in the basement, son.
Back on the bike. Back in the basement.
I can't hold my coffee cup.
I know. It's been so long since we've done this. I mean, but man, doing good. Excited to be back.
I'll be back, buddy.
You know, it's it's a good day for a good day.
It is a good day. It's a good day. We are excited to be back in the saddle. 2024 is upon us.
In a few hours.
Or it will be here in a couple of
Yeah,
hours.
right?
We're going to get the kids together tonight and do a little fake New Year's Eve gathering with the little ones. Should be fun. But it's time for 2024 and time for a whole new season of Decent Dads.
Season
so we're very
2?
excited about it. Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
So we still got to figure out if we're going to call it season 2 or if we're just going to count it episode 52 or how we're going to do that. I guess we got to kind of talk about that and figure out what we want to do. But I think we've got to do the same things we do every single time anyway.
Right. Hit on the staples.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really need to introduce the guest since, you know.
Oh, Mr.
We don't really have one.
Awkward.
So,
but you know, we could reintroduce ourselves.
That's a good idea. There you go.
You know, do our own dad resumes.
That's a good idea. I'm literally going to have to change hands. I can't.
I know.
I burnt the bejesus out of myself cooking for my family. I'll tell you more about it later.
Oh man, rookie mistake. Mm-hmm. But oh man, first time
Starting out.
What's the sign say?
It says 0 episodes.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh man, we'll get there. But yeah, no, I was thinking, you know, since we are kind of starting a new season or whatever, it's been a minute since we have been back on here. You know, just reintroducing ourselves,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
over our dad resume again.
It's a good idea.
So yeah, you want to go first, or you still hot?
Yeah, I'm good. All right. So, my name's Bryant Young. I am a father of 1. My daughter, Elsie, is 2.5 now. My wife, Liv, and I have just the 1 kid, and she is pretty fun.
Yeah,
we've been enjoying the
Elsie.
Elsie has been a lot of fun to parent. I mean, she is a wild animal in the best way possible.
Right.
Just, you know, the stereotypical little girl, just so excited and so happy all the time and loves her mom way more than she likes her dad, which is still the case all these months later.
Dang it.
What about you?
I was hoping for an update on that. Derek Chaney. I am a father of 2 crazy little boys. Liam, who will be 4 here in a couple months. Brody just turned 2 in November, and then 1 on the way. So...
I'm so excited for you, brother. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Got
so great,
1
man.
on the way.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so...
oh, God, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, and so I think it's a girl. So that might be a little wild.
So we think it's a girl because you have a gut feeling, or you talk to somebody who knows?
Okay, so the reason I say that, and I hope it's a girl, you know, just for my wife's sake, and for, you know, we need a girl in the family too.
Plus 3 boys. Good Lord, that house is
3
gonna be
boys.
beat to hell.
Yeah, we wouldn't have a house; it'd be burnt down in a couple days. But no, Allie took I think it's called Sneak Peek, some early on blood test that you can take, and it says 99.99% accurate. And so we go to see her doctor.
Sweet.
And it tells her that it's a girl, or we get the results back and it's supposed to be a girl. But then we talk to Hallie's doctor, and he's like, I've heard of that one.
Oh, shoot.
He's like, it's like, right, like, I think like 75% of the time-ish. And so I'm like, okay.
So is that Sex Panther? It works 60% of the time every time.
Right. So yeah, man. So due in July, right around my birthday too. So
God, that's awesome.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. To have a
I hear
buddy.
Bryant is a really good girl's name.
Bryant.
Just if you're looking for names.
Bryant. Yeah, I don't know if I can get on that train. But
I'll talk to Allie.
But yeah, man. So yeah, that's
Congratulations,
that's what's
DC.
going
That's
on in our
great,
world.
man. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, we're excited.
That's awesome. Well, then we kind of hinted at having crazy little kids. Tell me about the tantrums. It's been we were talking about this in the break. Like it's been 20. No, it's way more than 20 days. It's like it's been like 2 months almost since we've actually recorded it.
Yeah, I think it's been about 2.5 months since we recorded.
There you go.
Getting close to 3 months.
Yeah.
So naturally, 3 kids, the ages that our kids are,
It's inevitable.
plenty of tantrums. So yeah, I've been trying to stockpile a few of mine, and I just wanted to share one of them. Just it's not even really like that good of a tantrum, but it just shows you like how ridiculous kids can be.
Oh, dude.
Okay, and so I think this was, I think it was around Thanksgiving. I was going down to my parents, driving in my truck, and so the boys are obviously in their car seats in the back, and Brody starts losing it, and we're like, Brody, what's wrong? He's like, my hand. And we're like, what's wrong with your hand? He's like, I can't find my hand.
Oh, shit.
We're like, what? And we look, and he's sitting on his hand.
Got it, yeah.
His hand is underneath his leg.
But he can't feel it anymore.
And we're like, Brody, pull your hand out. He's like, I can't find my hand. So like, literally, Allie has to like reach back, grab his hand, pull it out from underneath his leg. And it's like, Brody, there's your hand. He's like, oh. Where's that guy been?
I found it. I can't believe
basically,
this.
I'm just
It's
like,
been at the end of my arm my whole life, but where the hell did it go?
I'm just like, me and Allie just looked at each other. We're like, really?
That's our
he
kid.
he just lost it over not being able to find his own hand.
Oh, that's hysterical. I love that.
But yeah, so that was more of a comical one. Wasn't like a big meltdown or anything like that, but it's just pretty comical.
Well, and that kind of transitions right into mine. I thought that Elsie had been having tantrums. Like the first couple of years, I was thinking, yeah, she's had some tantrums.
Sure. No?
It's been real over the last
hit a new
60
level
days. Yeah. I mean, it like the full blown rolling on the floor, screaming, crying, banging our hands, kicking our feet. And it's over, the piddliest of piddly shit. And I understand that, and we heard somebody say this, and maybe you were the one that quoted this to me, but it's not, they're not giving you a hard time. They're having a hard time.
Cody Red Wing.
That was a Cody Red Wing original. There you go. That he found on the internet.
Right.
But I really liked that. And so I've tried to keep that in mind as Elsie has been freaking out, because there have been several instances where it's just inconsolable over the wrong color of cup, or I cut the grapes
oh my gosh,
by not on the equator but on the vertical.
Oh.
It's like, it's just that kind of stuff. It's just it's unbelievable. But she's pushing those boundaries. She's testing like what she can and can't get away with. And so we're having to kind of stick to our guns a little bit, but holy crap, is it not the thing that I am interested in doing? Like it makes me feel so bad for her. And also makes me feel like such a shitty parent because it's like, God, she's just screaming and there's nothing I can do.
Right.
And
or whatever you do try,
exactly.
It doesn't work, right? And you're like, what in the world?
Well, and when you're not and I've seen this online several times too, there's like the default parent, right? Like when you're not the default parent and all you want to do is help, but they want nothing to do with you, and it's, where's mom? I need mom to fix this. And it's like,
I do too.
Dude,
okay.
It's like, she's not here. I don't know what to tell you. Right. Like, I also want to fix this for you. I am by design a fixer. Please let me help you.
Oh, man. Like, for real.
It is what it is. I mean, but we're learning and Elsie and I are both learning how to help her avoid those. We're still using the this or that conversations as opposed to, do you want X? It's, do you want this or that?
Yeah.
And she's finally 2.5 years later taken to the breathing thing.
Yeah.
Where she'll look at you.
That work?
Good. All right. Do another 4 of those. Me and you together. Big deep breaths.
So that works great on Liam. Brody
doesn't give a shit.
He's
huh?
like, hell no. He's down
nothing to do
in
with
the floor, like you said, like rolling around, flailing, like, Oh man, it's just it's funny stuff.
That's kids for you though, right?
But yeah, so it is kind of funny having two now, and it's like we went through that with Liam, and he doesn't really do that anymore. But now we're coming around to Brody starting to hit that phase, kind of like what you're talking about.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I kind of blacked this out of my mind and forgot about it, but here it is again.
It's a trauma response, Derek.
Right?
I don't remember it because it's a trauma response.
And now we got a third one on the way, so it's like, you know what? Let's just do it all again. Well, why not?
So I'll tell you, Liv and I have been talking, not that we're ready for another kid necessarily, but we've been talking about it again.
Yeah.
And what brought the conversation back up was we were up at my in-laws' home over Christmas and seeing Elsie play with her little cousins.
Yeah.
I was so happy just watching her roll around in the floor and just have fun. They were playing tag and they were chasing each other, and I've got a niece who's just like 2 years older than she is, and so she is really sweet, and she's about Liam's age, give or take, and so she was very, do you want to play with the dolls? Here, let's go play with the dolls. And they were playing with dolls and just having fun, and it was like, God, I want to do that so bad.
Yeah.
And so I looked at Liv and I was like, God, I really think we should reopen the conversation. And Liv's immediate response was, yeah, but they won't be playing together for like 3 years. I was like, oh, come on, man.
It's like a year and a half.
Yeah, but exactly. It's like,
I feel like I really noticed that once Brody was able to walk.
Yeah.
That's whenever we noticed them like starting to play together.
Actually want to play together.
And they're not always playing together either. Sometimes they're beating the crap out of each other.
Well,
so it's
and
like
that's
a little bit of give and take there.
Well, and that's inevitable, right? But I thought that was funny that was Liv's immediate response, like, yeah, but not for 2 years. Yeah, all right, fair enough.
It's fun, man. It's a blast. But yeah, kind of the next thing we always ask everybody is dad hack.
Dad hack alert!
And I know you have a really good one, so I'm going to save yours to let you go second here.
Wait, which one is mine? Because I don't know that we have the same one because I didn't think I had one.
Oh, we talked about it at lunch yesterday.
Well, I'm drawing a blank. Tee it up for me.
The app on your phone.
Yes, thank
you.
Yeah. Please continue.
So yeah, I'll let you save that one and go here in a second. But yeah, so dad hack, kind of what's working well for us right now, whatnot. So mealtime. Sometimes it can be challenging, to get your kids either settled down or get them to just, eat their food. And so what we found that works really well for us recently is, we normally do like 3 or 4 different, foods, mac and cheese, a vegetable, a meat, whatever. There's 3 or 4 different options there for them. But we always make sure that we have one that they really like, or one that they really like that's on mom and dad's plate only. It's not necessarily on their plate.
Okay.
And then after they eat all of it, or if they want something that's on our plate, we tell them, hey, eat 5 more green beans.
Like the other things.
We put a number on it, like, because we was kind of making that mistake before. We're like, hey, well, eat some more green beans, and eat
some more. What
does right. That's the thing. The kid's like, okay, well, how much is that? And so we stick a number on, and it's normally 5, and so they eat 5 more, and then we give them a bite of whatever it is that they want, and so then they want another one. We're like, we'll eat 5 more of your mashed potatoes, right?
There you go.
And so then it turns out that they're actually eating like their whole plate, everything that's on their plate, and it works out really good. And Liam, he's really good about, and Brody's starting to do this, like he'll count out his bites too. So it's like it's helping him count too, which Liam, he's good at that, but Brody, he's working on it. So that works out really well. And like ever since we started doing that, instead of using some and actually putting a number on it, it's worked out really well.
That's solid. I like that.
Yeah. So
and I appreciate you teeing that back up for me, because I was sitting here and had forgotten that conversation. And I was sitting in the house this morning going, what the hell do I talk about for dad hacks this week?
You brought that up yesterday at lunch, and I was like, dude, this is genius. Like I just utilized this, and I loved it, so I wanted you to save it there.
So I turned off screen time on my phone a long time ago. There is a function on the iPhone where you can, basically track how much time you're looking at your phone. And frankly, I think I saw it and got really embarrassed, and so I turned it off so I didn't have to see it anymore. But I was noticing Elsie walked over to me when we were sitting in the living room, just kind of sitting around playing, watching TV, whatever. And she walked over to me and said, Dad, and grabbed my phone and pulled it out of my face.
Oh, right.
Like I had it sitting right here, looking at something, flipping. I'm sure I was doom scrolling, right? Like I was just flipping through stuff. And she grabbed the top of my phone and pulled it down away and like pulled it out of my eye line. And I'm like, that's a problem for me. I should not, she should not have to do that. Yeah, she should not have to do that. And so I started digging into screen time. You can set limits on how much time you spend on certain apps.
Yeah, which I had no idea you could do this before yesterday.
And this was, so he and I both now have Facebook, Instagram. I took Twitter and TikTok off on my phone because I can't. I will sit around and fiddle with that all day. But you can like group them into, okay, these two apps, you only get 30 minutes a day.
Right, yeah.
And then it like grays it out on your phone. Once you've reached your 30-minute time limit, it grays it out on your phone. And you can get through it if you really need to, because we both use social media for our jobs and that kind of stuff. But also, if it's just one added layer of you've got to click through this extra button to get to it, it makes me think, okay, do I really need to be doing this right now?
Exactly. It's just that constant reminder.
Yeah.
Like, do I really need this?
Yeah. Or is Elsie going to walk over to me and grab my phone out of my hands because I'm staring at my freaking phone instead of hanging out with my family?
Yeah.
So, and it's, furthermore, we've gotten to the point now where I've been trying being the operative word. It's kind of hard during the holidays because we're up and down and not working as much. But when I get home, as best as I can, I'll go plug my phone in the bedroom.
Sure.
And just leave it.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little harder. And it's one of those things that I'm trying to make a point to do. Yeah. But that's something that is on my list of to do. 2024 has a handful of resolutions.
Yeah.
And that's one of them is trying to figure out my phone usage and my distractions just in general when it comes to dealing with my family and my kid.
Yeah. No, I love that because, I mean, like I said, I just implemented that too. And then last night, I got the notification like, hey, your screen time's up on Facebook. And I'm like,
congrats, you made it to the night.
Right. Well, I only turned it on like halfway through the day after lunch, and then I'd catch myself too. I'd like grab my phone whenever they're watching a movie or something, and I'd click it, and it'd be like, "Oh, are you sure your time limit's up?
Yeah.
Do you really want to add
15 minutes to this?"
It's like, nope, I did this for a reason. No, so I try to put it back down. And then once they go to bed and stuff, you
can turn it off.
Exactly. I'll hop on there, but it is just a good, friendly reminder. Like you don't pay attention to your kids. You don't really need this.
Right? Well, and the funny thing for me, so our baby monitor runs through to my phone.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And Liv and I are still both the helicopter parents that we are. And we both sleep with the monitor up on our phones all night long, to the point where my phone stays on all night long. And so my screen time says I have 13 hours of screen time a day. Well, because 8 of that is from when I go to bed to when I wake up.
Okay, Brian. Okay. Justify however you want.
Exactly. I get a pretty good giggle out of that. Oh, yeah. So let's talk about season 2.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the plans.
Some of the changes.
We kind of hinted at it at the end of last year, but we've had a chance to talk a little more and kind of solidify some things. So tell us what you think about season 2, episode 53, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah. I mean, we're just going to switch things up a little bit. Season 1, that was a big learning opportunity for us. We was just kind of figuring things out as we went. We had no idea what to expect on what we'd get from it, time commitments, all these different things. And so
52 episodes was a big commitment.
It was a lot. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong.
And we had a blast. I did. I had a good time.
But it was a lot of fun. And so, we wanted to take a step back and be like, hey, what can we do different here? And so a big thing we decided to do is, release an episode every other week. So basically do half the episodes that we did this previous year.
Yep.
There are a couple reasons for that. One, I think we want to make a better quality episode, from, whether it's from an editing standpoint or from just being more prepared for our guests and having more in-depth conversations. But then 2, we're both dudes that work full time. We have kids,
growing families, apparently.
And
God, I'm so excited.
And it's like, man, like that. 52 episodes. That was a big time commitment.
Sure.
We were spending like several hours a week, trying to get everything ready and prepped and pushed out. So I think, doing every other week will be a good change for both us and for the listeners as well too. So.
Yeah. And it just gives us, we both, you hit the nail on the head. We both have full-time careers and our careers are not the 9 to 5 variety. A lot of times we've got something early in the morning or later in the afternoon. And so it's kind of hard to do this as much as we were doing it. So but I am excited for this year just because we've got a handful of exciting people to have on the show.
Yeah.
We're going to change some things up. We're still going to have our buddies on the show.
Oh,
full
for
disclosure. Sure. We're still going to have our friends because that's half the fun for me is getting to spend time with our friends. The catalyst for this podcast was we want to spend more time with our dad friends because it's so freaking hard to do that when you get kids on the ground. But we want to bring in some different perspectives. Spoiler alert, we're going to have a guy on who has never had a kid before but is expecting.
Probably next
his
episode,
wife is expecting.
Actually.
So we're going to get his impression on what he thinks is going to happen, and then we're going to dash all of his good ideas on the rocks.
9 months later.
Exactly, because he's dead wrong. But I'm excited to do, just new and different things. Bring on some people that have had different experiences, different, both in parenting and out. I just think it would be neat to get some different varieties of experiences. And then we're going to try and do some reaching out and find some people that are kind of outside of our circle.
Right. Kind of, a little bit similar to last season on that, have friends, but then have people we don't know. Because, those were some of the fun episodes too, where we didn't know the people and we was learning about them as we're talking to them right there. And they brought some great stuff too for both of us, because again, those are people that we don't normally talk to, and so we haven't heard their stories before or heard their advice before. So yeah, I'm excited for this year.
Well, and it's fun to just make new friends, frankly. We ran into Dad and I were having lunch the other day and in walks Terrence Arrington. And I hadn't seen Terrence since he recorded. And we just got to talk to him, shoot the crap for a little bit, and say, hey, what's up, man? Dude. Good to see you. How are the holidays? Yada yada. It was good.
Yeah,
but just make some new buddies.
No. Like I said, I'm excited. It'll be fun. So yeah, that's the update with Decent Dads. And like we mentioned a few minutes ago, we haven't recorded in 2.5 months.
Yeah, we're a little rusty.
I feel like, at least in those 2 or 3 months, I know it doesn't really seem that long, but I feel like the boys have changed so much.
For sure.
Just, life updates in general, what all's changed. And so we wanted to hit on that real quick too, what's new in our world. So,
well, yeah, you kind of hit the life change of life changes there, bro.
Right? I know. That's, that's one thing.
Cat's out of the bag.
That, we're still trying to figure out, transitioning to, 3, it's even simple things now the boys are going to have to pair up and be in the same room. Mm-hmm. How the heck's that going to work out?
Sure.
And then the new one will.
So will that be the plan then?
Yeah, we have.
We got room enough in the basement.
We have
but
room,
you don't do
but
that yet, right?
Yeah, but Liam, I don't feel like he's big enough to go stay down in the basement by himself.
I get that.
So yeah, we'll just pair up him and Brody, which hopefully that works out really well. I don't know. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I think I'll be interested to see how that goes.
But yeah, and then too, the little dudes, man, Brody and Liam, they've just changed so much here in these last 2-3 months. Obviously they found out Allie's pregnant, right?
So how has their reaction been to that?
So it's so precious, with Liam, and it's so funny because Liam, he didn't want a baby brother before Brody got here, right? And then once Brody got here, he just ignored him for his first 2 or 3 months of life.
Yeah, I remember you talking
right?
about
But
that.
he is so excited to have a little sister. He is.
That's
so
awesome.
He just it's so cute. I'll be sitting in the living room. Him and Allie will be in the bedroom or his room, and I just hear him talking about the new one. He's like, is Lily? Is she wearing a dress right now, or is she going to be my best friend? And him and Allie are just having these conversations. He's truly excited, and he is really good with babies.
Good.
Brody, on the other hand, man, I feel sorry for this little girl. I feel like he's just going to be dragging her around, come on, come play with me. So we'll see. But no, man, back to the kiddos.
Yeah.
Liam, it's so fun, man. He's turning into a little man. Mm-hmm. It's so fun. He's just such a sweet kid, and he's been so well mannered, and it's it's fun too. He's like, he wants to like go out and help me with stuff now.
Cool.
You know, like
Yeah.
like legit like help. Like he wants to do things, not just like be there in your presence. And so I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, come help me. So that's that's just a blast. Once we hit that level.
He helped build the deck and stuff too, right? And that was like kind of the start of that a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, kind of. And then like just this week, we were cleaning up a property, and him, Allie, and Brody stopped by to drop off some stuff, and I wasn't really planning on having him there, but he was really sad in the back seat, and I'm like, "What's going on, bud?" And he's like, "I just want to help. I just want to be with you." So I'm like, "All right, well, let's hop out and help." And he helped me clean up, and he was a good little helper. And,
I love it.
And it was funny, paid him like $1 for helping.
Oh, good.
me.
Yeah.
And
Playing that game.
He loved it, just made his day. Brody, on the other hand, man, this kid, he's going to be the death of us. Like, he is, don't get me wrong, he's like so fun, but he is wild. Man.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the difference between the two, because Liam's our high emotional kid, high emotions, and Brody's our high energy kid.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and also
child.
Daredevil. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
man. Like, yeah, this kid will jump off anything. He'll bounce off stuff and just laugh about it. He doesn't really get hurt. And defiant.
Yeah.
Man, this kid is defiant. Like, and that's funny, too. Like, Liam, he's like our rule follower. Like, if we tell him to do something, ask him to do something, he's like, okay, I'll do it. Or if he does something wrong, he's like, I'm sorry. And Brody's like, I don't give a damn. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
Screw you. This is what I'm doing. And like, I have so many stories about how like defiant this kid is.
That's so funny too, because the stereotypes are real. Because that's Drew and I.
Really?
That's me and my brother.
that's
Like,
funny.
I was scared of my parents.
Of like
And
disappointing your parents or something?
100%
Yeah, right?
for years until high school.
Yeah.
And then high school happened. But,
Right.
scared of my parents forever
So
as the
we'll-
firstborn.
We'll see. But, I say that too. And Brody, he's, he really is a sweet kid too, because Allie, she's been super sick with this pregnancy.
I hate that.
And so, she's like throwing up every day. And when she throws up, it's fine. Liam, he can't stand it. Like he'll throw up if he sees her throw up. But Brody, she'll be throwing up. He has this like fluffy little elephant chair. He'll drag it into the bathroom, set it right beside her, sit down right beside her, and he like pats or rubs her back. And like,
that's
it's
so
okay,
sweet.
mama. It's okay, mama. And I'm like, okay, you do have a sweet side.
You can play this game.
Right.
Be nice to your mom.
So-
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, it's so cool to see them, changing and becoming little men. And
Yeah.
it's a blast.
That's good. I mean, Elsie's been a lot of fun. Getting to see, the first couple holidays where she actually understands the holiday. Because we just got through
right.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And at
Yeah,
2,
that's
she
true.
finally understood. We did the whole, some of the stereotypical Christmas stuff, and we'll talk more about that later. But it was fun to get to see her kind of navigate the holiday and start to understand what dealing with her friends is like, dealing with her family is like. It's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, a ton has really changed in our world at this point. We're Elsie has grown up a lot in the last 60 days.
Yeah.
She's way more independent. I mean, we were at the grocery store today, and instead of me getting a cart, she just got the little kid cart.
I got it.
She's, I got it, Dad. I got it. And so we're getting stuff to go over to your house tonight, and it's like, here's the sparkling grape juice, and here's the sparkling cider. And a couple of little old ladies that are at the grocery store thought it was the funniest thing in the world to see this little kid pushing around what definitely looks like champagne bottles.
Right.
And Elsie's just having the time of her life. Just smiling and waving hi and saying hello to everybody.
Dude, she is a funny kid.
Yeah,
though.
she's just
Me and
so
Allie
excited.
talk about that all the time. Like, Elsie is a funny kid.
She's just so happy and so excited. It's funny because that was the way I was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My parents tell a story about how they were pushing me through the mall, and I was saying hi to everybody, and one guy didn't say hi back, and so I turned around and yelled at him, "Hey, hi," because he wouldn't respond.
I was talking to
I
you.
was talking to you. So yeah, Elsa's doing the same thing though. Is that we're getting in places,
awesome.
and she's just yelling hi and waving hello to everybody, and everybody's a friend. Hi, friends. It's nice to see you,
that's funny.
friends. So yeah, it's been fun. I started to talk about it, and I probably shouldn't have because I know we had talked about doing this in the show.
Oh.
Tell me about, we talked about it's been 2.5 months since we did this.
Yeah.
We've gone through 3 major holidays now. What have you guys been doing?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been hanging out,
Halloween,
but so it's
right,
not like
right,
I don't
yeah.
know, but they don't know. So
But Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, So yeah, Halloween was fun this year. Both boys understood.
Exactly. That's the
You know,
so much part of it.
Like,
yeah.
hey, we go knock on this house and they give us candy and go to the next house, and they were.
But it was flat ass cold.
It was
this year.
So that's kind of my story with Halloween.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't mean to interrupt.
So it's funny. So the boys, they're big, like train. They love trains,
okay.
right? And they like Thomas the Train.
As you should.
And Brody likes Percy on there. And so Allie, being her creative self, I was very impressed with this. She made their costumes.
Oh, awesome.
Made Liam,
Yeah,
he was
I saw the
Thomas.
picture of that.
Yeah, he was
yeah.
Thomas and Brody was Percy, and it looked really good. And so, yeah, boys are going around, like you said, super cold, and we even had them bundled up. But she made their costumes out of boxes. So we have like a big rectangle box around their waist, and then kind of a box behind them,
Sure.
for the top of the back of the train there. And so we're going through our neighborhood. Thank goodness it's not a big neighborhood, but trick-or-treating all through there. And we get all the way to the farthest house from our house in the neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
And Brody's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out. And so he just sits down.
Oh, no.
This little train, little Percy's just sitting down in the road. He's like, okay. He's like, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll carry you. But then you don't realize how hard it is to carry a kid that's wearing a big ass box. And so I pick Brody up and I'm like holding him like this. I'm like, I can't carry this kid all the way back to the house. Like,
This is not going to work.
and so finally I'm like, all right, Brody, here we go. And so I just give him a bear hug and just squish
Clutch everything down.
squish the costume. And I'm like, it's okay. We're not going to use it after today. anyways.
Did he care?
And,
What did he care about that?
no. He just
he
wanted
was
to be
done.
held. His little legs were tired, I guess. And but no, it was fun. And then we get back to the house and we let them eat some candy, and they were super excited about that. And then naturally the next morning, most of their candy disappeared.
Yeah, of course.
And but yeah, that was
Dad
fun,
tax, son.
right. So what about you guys? What were you guys?
Elsie doesn't get it yet.
Oh, really?
Like, she loves the music associated with Halloween. All the little,
I love that you said that.
like Elsie's obsessed with all things kids music, and still at 2.5 years old refuses to listen to adult music. Like, I have tried. I even listened to Taylor Swift in the car. Like, I was
you a
trying.
Swiftie?
Yeah,
Huh?
big time. Way into it. I was just trying to do something, trying to find some kind of music that is not Old MacDonald had a farm.
Coco Melon.
Oh my God. I've tried. I told her Coco Melon's not on my phone. She's like, well, it's on mommy's phone. It's like, yeah, mommy's phone's different than mine. Coco Melon
has a
is
better
not
phone.
on my phone. But she spooky skeleton songs, and there's that super simple songs thing that I've talked about before. They have
Those
a
are
bunch
good.
of Halloween songs.
Yeah.
And so Elsie was obsessed with those before and well after Halloween, watching those. But it was so cold, and we live in a neighborhood full of 30-somethings and 90-somethings, and we had no idea if the 90-somethings would be home. And we would be handing out candy. We knew they'd be home.
Right.
We didn't know if they'd be handing out candy, and so we didn't want to go ding dong the 90-year-olds.
Right.
We're gonna, and they're not actually 90. They're 75, 80. It's not that bad. But we're probably gonna tell them next year, hey, we'll even bring the candy over. Can we just come ding dong your doorbell just for Els to come say hi? But we didn't even do our neighborhood.
Yeah.
We just drove. We went and got in the car,
okay.
and we drove over to my brother's house.
Okay.
Who my brother is not. He was definitely not handing out candy to anybody else other than Elsie. I think they bought.
Find what I have in here.
Yeah, exactly. They bought candy.
Popcorn.
Exactly. They bought candy, but my brother is not big on talking to people that he doesn't want to talk to. So
That's
but
funny.
when we told him
The
that Elsie was
opposite.
coming over, he was in oh dude, it's hilarious.
So
they
funny.
were. He and his wife were in onesies, with the hoods pulled up, and I think she was a shark
that's
and Drew
adorable.
was a chipmunk or something like that. And I think their neighborhood, they were kind of half expecting the people to show up, and they wanted to be good sports, but nobody did because it was so cold. So when we got there, they were ready to go, and Elsie was so excited. And then we went over to Mom and Dad's for a second too, and ding dong the doorbell and getting her to say trick or treat. All right, we were trying to hype her up the whole time. All right, all you gotta do is say trick or treat, and then they'll give you stuff.
Right.
Trick or treat. Refused. Straight
Really?
up, would not.
Are you
say it.
serious? Oh my
No.
gosh.
And it's her
That's
grandparents and her aunt and uncle.
She's I'll know. I know they'll give me candy no matter what. I'm not saying I'm not working
I
hard.
have to work for this. Are you
Work
kidding me?
smarter, not harder. Come
Yeah. So she was definitely not interested in saying it. But again, she had fun. We had a good time.
Yeah.
But it was just not. as big of a deal this year because it was so stinking cold.
Oh, yeah. It's funny that you said that because we told the boys, we're like, you won't get candy unless you say trick or treat. So the trick or treat part was easy.
That was a big trigger for them.
The thank you after they gave the candy, that was the hard part because they were like, oh, I got to go to the next house.
Run, hurry. There's more
they'd be
candy
like
next door.
halfway through these people's yards. I'm like, guys, did you say thank you? They'll look back, thank you. So that was funny. But then too, it made me think of a dad hack when you was talking about the older people.
Mm-hmm.
So we live in a part of town where there's quite a few like 55 and up communities, retirement places. I did not realize you can go to those. And they have a setup in their community room, kind of like an indoor trunk or treat, if you will. And like, so if it's cold and like it was this year, you can take your kids to that and they'll just be inside and go around
Isaac
to all
tell
the...
you about that? That's solid.
No,
because they've got the one that's over there by your house.
No, I can't remember. It was a past guest that told us about it, but it wasn't Isaac. But it was somebody.
Blank. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
that's
but
funny.
I was like, that is a great idea. I wish I would have done that with the boys this year. And we would have been able to enjoy it even more. But
it's a good idea.
But yeah,
what about Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
Did you guys host? I can't remember.
We did not.
We hosted.
We did not. Thank goodness. There's so many kids on my wife's side.
Yeah.
That we're just like, I don't know, right?
I got a story about that.
Yeah. So we didn't host. It's like there's so much craziness. Allie's grandparents, who always host Thanksgiving, they do it in their church gymnasium.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
because
I love that. That's how many people there are for Thanksgiving.
There. With her family, there's probably, I'd say, 40-ish people. But there's
That's so fun.
I think there's like 13 or 14 kids, like maybe 15 grandkids. And a lot of them are under 10, so it's just madness. So yeah, nothing was too crazy, for Thanksgiving. We did make the boys tell us what they were thankful for,
nice.
Which was the most ridiculous answers. Liam was thankful for his trains and his trucks.
Sure, of course.
Brody's thankful for the color green. So don't know what he means by that. But that's what he's thankful for.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably the funnest memory that we had for Thanksgiving was at my parents'. So my sister, she has two little boys too. She has one that's a month older than Liam and one that's a month younger than Brody. And dude, Liam and Kate, his cousin that's his age, they were just crazy, just little rambunctious boys. And I was like, dude, I can remember doing this with my cousins that were my age. Like literally as soon as we got to my parents for 2 hours while, food was being prepped and made, they were wrestling and wrestling like hardcore. They did a great job. They stopped.
Nobody got hurt. They were just...
They ate their Thanksgiving lunch. As soon as they left the table, back at it for like another hour or two. They're going hard.
Nap time was serious that day.
And nap time and bedtime. Liam's, he's in this phase right now where, we put him down at 8. And he gets out of bed until 9:30. Like, my leg itches. My head hurts. There's books on the floor. I'm like, dude, come on, just go to bed. That night, the dude didn't budge.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost like you just got to run him for 3 hours a day.
Right. We might have learned something there from that. But yeah, Thanksgiving, it was pretty chill. Nothing too crazy there. What about you guys?
Yeah, we hosted. We hosted my mom's side, and it was 25-ish people total.
Okay.
With 6 or 8 of those being under 11.
Yeah. Okay.
There were a pack of 5 little boys that were 8 to 5. And holy crap, dude.
It's just wild at that age.
Excuse me. It's just one of those deals where I'm a girl dad now.
Right.
I don't remember that part of it. Yeah. I'm not used to that anymore. And we've got the gate in the back, right? That separates one side of the yard from the other.
Right.
And we had the dog on one side of the gate. That was by design. We wanted to keep the dog down there away from the kids.
Sure.
And it's not safe down there, so we just figured it was a better idea to just close the gate.
Yeah.
Nobody go through here. So the boys are just running free. It's not like the parents need to go watch them every waking moment of the day. So it's okay. So they're just running, and they're going through that gate. It's like, hey, guys, okay. I need y'all not to go through this gate, okay? Just everybody, no problem. No big deal. Just please stay on this side of the gate. I said, don't go through this gate.
Right.
That's what I said. and I put the little carabiner through the deal so that it locked it.
Mm-hmm.
So they heard me say, don't go through this gate. And they did. They stopped going through the gate. They started going over it.
So please tell me they went over it. Or under it.
Yeah, so they're now climbing the gate back and forth to go run up and down this thing, up and down the stairs and down around by the pool. And so they're just tearing ass throughout the yard. And I catch them down there. I was like, guys, I'm sorry. I need y'all to don't go over it, don't go under it, don't go through it, don't go through here.
Don't even go near it. Okay.
I need you guys not to be down here. So what did they do? They came down the stairs and went out the back door, meaning that they didn't go through or around or anywhere near the gate that I told them not to go through.
They went out through the basement to the part that they weren't supposed to be in.
And the way I know is the dog is in the living room all of a sudden.
Eating the family turkey.
Jesus Christ, boys. So, yeah, I got to experience a pack of little boys.
Oh, man.
But it was fun because I got to kind of flex that, like, patience muscle a little bit because, one, these aren't my kids.
Right.
Two, Elsie, she's not old enough to do this kind of shit yet. She will. I have no doubt in my mind she's going to push every boundary she can. But she doesn't do this yet. And so I had to stop myself from getting pissy.
Right.
Because my gut reaction was, well, why can't we go through there? Because I said so, and it's my house. Shut up.
Yeah.
That's not a productive way to handle a conversation with an 8-year-old.
Right.
And so I was like, fellas, it's not safe down here. I need you guys not to be down here. And also, the puppy makes a mess, so I need y'all not to run down there. So if you could, please do this. But because my gut reaction was, what are you doing?
Right.
Come on, man.
This kid's ass.
Exactly.
No, that brings up a funny topic, too. It's like your thoughts on not really disciplining like nieces and nephews, but, you know, like kind of getting on to them, I guess, because we're starting to hit that phase with again like my sister's kids and stuff, and like they'll do something where they're not supposed to, and vice versa. My boys do stuff that they're not supposed to.
Sure.
And you know that's just we grew up in the household of
everybody.
You know, if you see my kid doing something wrong, you have every right to discipline them, and so. So it's kind of funny where I just noticed that these holidays, you know, when stuff would happen, you know, where my parents would get on to the grandkids about something and then they'd still do it and we'd see them do it. And it's like, hey, you know, grandma said you better not do that, you know? And so it's just, at first I knew, like, I felt really awkward doing it because it's not my kids, right? But like you were saying, though, it's kind of funny too, how much more patience you almost have with other people's kids than your own.
Because you don't want to fly, not that you want to fly off on the handle off on your own kids, but like, you fly off on the handle on somebody else's kids, it's even worse.
Right. So that was funny.
Thanksgiving. No, excuse me.
Christmas. So yeah, man, like going from Thanksgiving to Christmas was like rough in our household. So because we were basically sick from Thanksgiving till like I think like Christmas Eve.
Talk about strep. Because I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, so
the weirdest thing.
Well, yeah, before I get to that, I mean, like it's either the week after Thanksgiving or the following week, one of the two. Let's see, it was Liam. Liam brought home a stomach bug from school, and it was like a 24-hour thing where he was throwing up, like he couldn't keep anything down, and it just immediately come up and just threw up like nonstop. And so he had that like on Wednesday, Thursday. Nobody's sick. We're like, okay, maybe we lucked out. Friday hits Brody. Brody's going through it all. Saturday, same stuff. You know, throwing up. You know, luckily again, only lasts 24 hours. Saturday it was Allie. It hit Allie, and then Sunday hit me. So like that whole week was just
everybody's sick.
It was rough, and so like
the plumbing got to work out.
So it was brutal. So that I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out like. Would you rather be sick as a family like on one day or just have like one member of your family be sick, you know, throughout the week and extend
that's a good question.
And I'm like, man, I told Allie, we're on opposite ends on this one, but I was like, I'd rather just everybody be sick on one day and get it over with and then we're good to go. And
I agree with you.
She's like, no, she's like, who's going to take care of all of us? I'm like, it's just one day. We can figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm with you there.
But yeah, then I think,
maybe we should ask that of every guest.
That might be a fun question, right? But yeah, and so then like the next week we was kind of recovering from that, and then the following week, let's see, Allie took the boys somewhere. I think she went to go take them to go play with some friends, and Liam, you know, he's a kid that like he's always wants to go fast. Like he always wants to run from point A to point B and just always moving, right? And they were going, walking up to the house or walking somewhere, and he tells Allie, he's like, Mom, he's like, can you slow down? My leg's hurting. And we're like, well, that's weird, but he wasn't like limping or anything like that. And so she's like, yeah, sure, so he slowed down and they kept walking and they were playing. And then I get home from work that night and I notice he has a little bit of a limp. He's walking and I'm like, Bub, what's
Which is weird.
Yeah. I'm like, Bub, what's wrong? He's like, my leg's hurting. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he had a Christmas concert that night at school, and we were planning to go to Bass Pro that night to see Santa, take pictures with Santa at Bass Pro. And so we went to Bass Pro, and the limp's getting worse. And like to where like I'm like I felt bad for him, so like I just picked him up and would carry him.
Yeah.
Like it's and he's walking really slow. The limp's pretty significant. Go to the Christmas concert where he has to walk up on stage and stuff, and poor little dude, man, he toughed it out and he walked up there, but it looked rough, and you could tell it was really bothering him the whole time. And then like by the end of the night, he didn't even want to walk. He's like, Dad, will you just hold me? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I get it.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, we was trying to figure out, we're like, this is weird. Like Allie's like, oh, she's like, I think it's just, growing pains. And I was like, I don't think it is. I was like, I don't think they'd make him limp like that.
Not
right?
like that. Sure. I mean, you'd hope not, at least.
It's kind of weird. And so we're like, okay, well, if it's still bothering him tomorrow when we wake up, like, we'll take him to the doctor. And so he slept in the bed with us that night. And so the next morning, I wake up and I'm like, Bub, how's your leg doing? He's like, it's still hurting. And you could tell that night while he was sleeping, like he would be sleeping and like kind of like moaning and crying, like in pain. And I'm like, golly, poor dude. And so anyways, get him out of bed that next morning, and he won't even stand. His legs bother him that much. And we're like, going through our minds, and like, obviously we went to Google and,
Dr.
Google told us, he has cancer and leukemia and all this other stuff. And so like in the back of my mind, I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this cannot be happening to my child. And so Allie takes him to the doctor. Lo and behold, he has anal strep.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
I didn't either.
I didn't know you get strep anywhere but your neck or your throat.
Right, same. I didn't either. And they're like, he has strep down there, and for whatever reason, the virus just decided to settle in his hip, and that's why he's limping.
No, thank you.
They gave us meds.
No, thank you.
Like amoxicillin or whatever.
That's crazy.
By that evening, he was walking again. By the next day, he was perfectly fine.
Absolutely crazy.
What?
That is nutty.
Yeah, so it's so weird, man. But thank goodness that's all it was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We were freaking out. But yeah, so then we get to Christmas, right? And Christmas was again like similar to Halloween, man. It was a blast because the boys they understood it. We're starting to do these family traditions. We did Elf on the Shelf for the first time this year.
Did you really?
Dad hack with that.
I feel like we could do a whole episode on this.
Right? Dad hack with that, especially if you have little boys that really want to like just grab the elf, but they can't touch him right because he loses magic. It doesn't come back. Yeah. Get a little container, like a little clear container that you put like cereal or snacks in. Mm-hmm. Put the elf in there, and then they can walk around with him and not actually physically touch him. That was a good little hack that we implemented. So that was fun, They knew to like ask Santa, like, that this is what I want for Christmas. Yeah. Liam wanted a blue train, go figure. Yeah. Brody wanted a green train, go figure.
I'm thankful for the color green.
Yeah. But it was really fun, and man, Liam, dude, he is my wife over and over again when it comes to Christmas. This dude will walk around just singing Christmas songs, and he still is to this day. Cool. And we're a week past Christmas, and he'll still sing Christmas songs. Christmas lights, they're both just super infatuated with it. Like they'd ask us to go see Christmas lights every night.
Did you guys go to Gardens Aglow or whatever?
We went to Gardens Aglow, and then we here in Springfield we have a few of those homes that have like radio stations with the lights, and so there's one that's pretty close to our house, Bagwell House.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so we went over to that one. We'd go over to that one like 2 or 3 times a week.
Did you really?
The boys would just love it. They would just poke their heads out the window and just watch it. They would watch it all night if they could.
So I guess we're gonna have to buy more Christmas lights.
Right? Yeah. That's what Allie told me. She's like, next year we have to do Christmas lights. I'm like, oh no, here we go. But no, man, it was. Yeah, it was a lot of fun just seeing them, enjoy Christmas, understand Christmas.
That's fun.
It was cool.
I did my Clark Griswold this year. Now, I mean, not like as bad as Clark Griswold, but like I have been a pretty bah humbug person about Christmas lights and Christmas decorations in general.
You still have Christmas decorations up?
Yeah, exactly. We have some upstairs. So
on your front porch.
I don't really like decorations, like holiday specific decorations, because I'm a firm believer in the idea that like we put up our stuff to make our house look nice, and then let's not touch it. Because when you start moving stuff, it stops looking nice.
Yeah.
Let's just do the thing. Let's make it look nice and move on. But
or the opposite of that. So my wife's very Christmassy. Puts so much shit out there.
Yeah.
Then when you take it all down, your house looks bare.
Yeah, it's just an empty space now, right? So, but I knew Elsie was going to understand Christmas. She was going to have fun with it this year. So I kind of was like, all right, I'm doing Christmas lights. I've never done Christmas lights on a house that I owned. Yeah. And I've owned homes for 11 years. 12 years, whatever. But I finally did it this year, and I was on my Clark Griswold this year, like hanging off the side of the roof, trying to get the Christmas lights just right. And at a certain point, I was like, use the ladder to just get up on the roof, and then I did the whole thing from the roof. And as I was laid down on my stomach, spread eagle, trying to like use my hands but also use my elbows to hold myself in place and place stuff at the corner because you're reaching all the way out there with the little clips to get the lights in place. And I was thinking to myself, this has got to be the craziest looking picture anybody could ever get of me hanging off the side of the house.
For real.
And it's just because my daughter is going to like seeing Christmas lights hanging off of the
things
house.
You do for your kids. Oh my gosh.
But we went to Menards, and like, of course, she saw the blow up things that they had in there and was obsessed immediately. And so we're walking through, there's a dinosaur holding a candy cane. And
I want that one.
Let's put it like this: $29.99 later, we have a dinosaur holding a candy cane still in front of our house.
Protecting the house.
Some of the neighboring families have said, if you take that down, our kids are going to revolt. So we're going to have to figure something out. But, Else understood it. We did the whole, like, again, talking about doing your Christmas traditions. We baked cookies on Christmas Eve.
Oh, nice.
And we set them out and, put them all out next to the mantle and with the pint glass full of carrots for the reindeer. And man, I tell you what, the next morning Santa had eaten those cookies. He had taken bites out of a bunch of them.
Right.
There were some of them in the floor. And then we went out on the back porch, and just under the chimney, where obviously Santa came down the chimney, there was a bunch of scraps of the carrot that had been chewed up. And like, obviously those reindeer enjoyed their carrots.
Hungry, yeah.
And man, it was a lot of fun.
Right.
It was a lot of fun to do that kind of stuff, because my parents did that for me. And I don't know, my parents set that up for me. I don't know if it was, mom or dad or who, but like that kind of stuff was set up for me. And so it's kind of fun to get to do some of those things that I remember having such like,
well,
oh my
just seeing their
gosh.
excitement, right? Like that is so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Liv and I discovered with the present buying this year, we need to do a better job of talking about what we're buying ahead of time.
Oh,
because we didn't.
Did you buy doubles?
Well, no, not so much doubles. We just bought too much shit.
We bought some doubles.
Like, it was one of those deals where it's like, okay, well, I'll get. We just didn't talk about who was buying what. We were just buying stuff when we saw it because we thought it would be fun for Christmas.
Sure.
This little girl has more crap in our house now than I've got 5 kids worth of toys upstairs right now because of Christmas. I mean, we bought the Fisher-Price basketball goal, and we bought one of the little Tony's musical box things, which was a whole saga in and of itself. It's like a music box, but has little figurines that you set on top.
Okay.
And it plays an hour's worth of music, and each figurine has its own hour's worth of music attached to it.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
But you have to go download those playlists from the internet so that when you plug the right guy in, it plays the right music.
Right.
Well, it was an act of Congress to get this thing set up. It wouldn't connect to our internet. And we didn't set it up the night before. So Liv and I on Christmas Day, I'm trying to entertain Else. Liv is freaking out, like just trying to get this thing attached to some kind of internet so we could get it to work.
Oh, that's funny.
And it was just a testament to like the dads of old in the middle of the night trying to put the last screw into the play set or whatever it was.
Let's put it together.
But it was the 21st century version of that, where we're trying to figure out which frickin' Wi-Fi passwords that we're supposed to use. to get this thing downloaded. So
dude.
it was a lot of fun. I mean, the holidays with the kid keep getting better.
Yeah. Right.
Like early on it was just, oh, cool, we get to buy her stuff, or we get to spend time with family and she gets to see her family. Right. But like now that she understands it, holy shit, Derek. Yeah. Like it was such a blast. Right. To get her like, oh my God, Santa's going to be here. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, Santa's going to be here. And I go to bed and then I wake up and then Santa's going to be here. Yeah. No, Santa will have come overnight because you won't get to see him. He comes at night. And it's just, man, it was so much fun to have those conversations with a 2-year-old.
So we kind of, I don't want to say we messed up, but so Liam, when we was doing our bedtime routine with him, I always kind of run through it first, and then Allie, she finishes up. And then, so after I did that, I went outside, had some jingle bells, was ringing them outside his window, and then did ho, 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 outside his window.
Yes, I love it.
And he like lit up, like Allie recorded and stuff. But the downside to that is he's like, Santa's already come to my house before I went to sleep.
Oh shit! The presents are already here.
Yeah. So he kept trying to like get out of bed. He's like, and it was so like sweet and sad at the same time. He's like, "Can I come see Santa? I want to come see." Like he wanted to see his presents, but he really wanted to see Santa and the reindeer. Yeah. He was like, "I want to see the reindeer." Buddy. And
so you won't be doing that again next year?
I don't know, but like the video was super cool of seeing him just like light up, like you're saying, like light up and just be so excited. Like it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. What have you learned over the last couple of years? Like the first, you've got a 4-year-old now.
Yeah, almost 4. Yeah.
You're right. Sorry. The first 4 years of parenting. We talked about this ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to just kind of see like some overarching takeaways that you have from your first couple of years of parenting.
Yeah, and honestly, there's so many different ones too.
There's 10,000 of them, so I understand that this is kind of hard to cull down into a little list.
It's kind of broad, but I mean, just some of them that have really been hitting home lately. I mean, like I said, my boys are turning into little men. So and I know we've talked about this so many times on the podcast, but just how quickly it goes, man. Sure. And try to enjoy it, right? That wasn't really one that I had down, but that's a big one. Just enjoy it. But
live in the moment.
Live in the moment. Yeah. Utilize Bryant's dad hack with the the screen time.
No, yeah.
There. But no, sure. Really a big one that I have that immediately came to mind to me was, parenting is a team sport.
Yeah, right? Dude, for sure.
It's luckily, me and my wife, we've been together long enough now. We're so good at reading each other that neither one of us have to ask for help or anything. It's just a glance, or even you can just tell by the way that they're acting, like, oh, mom needs a break, or oh, dad needs a break. And so we're like, you go hang out for a minute. I got this, you know. And that helps tremendously. I mean, I know not everybody's in the perfect situation.
Every household is different, but like,
if you are, man, just be there for the other parent and just know, like, hey, we all need our breaks at times, help each other out.
The spouse was there first,
right? Yeah,
like I married my wife first, and then the kids came along.
Yeah.
So if my wife's not okay, then that's my chief concern.
Yeah. Yeah, and man, that just made me think too. The other day in church, the pastor, he said this, and it really hit home for me too. He said, love your spouse more than you love your kids. And it's like it's a
hard pill to swallow, but it's real.
It is, because it's like it's so easy to be so infatuated and love your kids so much that you really sometimes put your spouse by the wayside, right? Because you want to give all your attention to your kids when, like you're just saying there, your spouse was there first, and she, she's the reason you have kids.
100%.
So yeah.
Well, they talk about the roommate phase a lot. Like I see online people talking about the roommate phase.
Yeah.
Where you've got little kids where all of a sudden it's like, we're just two caregivers taking care of this kid.
Yeah.
As opposed to husband and wife or longtime significant other, whatever it is. Like, for me and you, these are our wives.
Yeah.
So you have to prioritize that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's on my list. Is my first takeaway is prioritize the relationship with your wife.
Yeah.
Because if you want to talk about, at least the way we look at it, Elsie is going to be better off if she has two parents in the household taking care of her.
Yeah.
If she has a loving example of two people in the home that love each other, and she gets to see them loving each other and being very happy and taking care of her, you got to prioritize, the relationship first.
All right.
With Liv and I.
I mean, Elsie needs to see how a man treats a woman, and my boys, same thing. They need to see how a man treats a woman there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, that it can be so hard to do sometimes. But again, back to your dad hack, man. Not to beat a dead horse here, but yeah, last night, normally after the boys go down, I'm on my phone scrolling, but I had that friendly little reminder there. It's like, hey, your screen time's up.
Yeah,
and so
sorry, no mas.
Me and Allie, we talked more probably last night for that hour after the boys went down than we have in quite a while.
Good.
That's
awesome.
So yeah.
So my first one that's actually on my list was talking about the importance of routines.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like
100%.
Everybody talks a big game when they come into parenting about like, well, my kids won't do this, or we're definitely going to do that. Like specifically talking about screen time and like some of these kind of things where you have these big grandiose ideas of my kid will only eat organic baby food and bullshit, whatever. It's just not going to happen unless you're very serious about it.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Good for you. Didn't work in my house.
Not us.
But I do think routines are important because it gives your kiddo the out of bounds lines.
Yeah.
It gives them some structure. And I firmly believe that kids benefit from having some structure. We know at a certain point it's time for bath time.
They know what to expect next.
Exactly.
Right?
Dad's going to give you a 2-minute warning, and then he's going to give you a 1-minute warning, and then it's bath time.
Yep.
And we're going to do bath time, and then we're going to brush our teeth, and then we're going to go put on our PJs, and then we're going to say our words, and then we're going to read books with mom. Mm-hmm. And we know that routine every single night because I'm a firm believer after experiencing the lack of sleep training that we did at the very beginning of having Elsie, how important a routine like sleep training is, because we fought with trying to get Else to sleep because we were too chicken shit to just leave her in there.
Yeah. It's so hard though.
So like the Ferber, like doing the whole Ferberizing thing. But it took us 2 nights.
Yeah.
To Ferberize this kid.
Ferberize.
And then she was out, man. And then that was it. Like that was it from 2 nights of her yelling at us.
Dude.
And I was sitting outside of her bedroom door, weeping openly, just sitting in the floor outside of her door, weeping. But it works.
Yeah.
Because 2 days later, she slept through the whole night. And for the most part, she slept every night since then.
Oh, yeah.
So just the importance of a routine and how like helpful, and the kids know what to expect. Mm-hmm. There's less tantrums. There's less problems, less surprises. It's just routines are king.
I really do think there is something to that with there's less tantrums, because I know like we do nap time the exact same time every day. We do bedtime the exact same time every day. And especially Brody now, if he doesn't have his nap or if he's not in bed by noon, he is hitting those limits where it's a meltdown about every little thing, but it's like after the nap, he's good to go.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
But
on your list.
Yeah. The next thing too, and again, I know we've talked about this before, but I feel like as a parent, so you continually reminds you that, hey, work on your patience. Right. And it can be so hard as a parent because
Saint Chaney.
Things, your kids, they know how to push your buttons. Right. They test your limits, and you're having rough days, and you'll snap at them or something. And that just makes the situation worse. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like kids, they need to know when they're doing wrong. Right. And you should get on to them and then let them know, like, you don't do this. Right. But it's when it's over little stuff, try to exercise your patience as much as possible. Because I know with my boys, whenever I get worked up over, about little stuff with them, well, then they get that much more worked up. Right. Yep. And then you have to they went from here to here. And so now you got to bring them all the way back down here, where if you just would have been calm in the first place, it would have been a much easier to get them down to calm, chill level.
No doubt.
And so that's something that I'm just constantly learning, just patience.
For sure. The next one on my list was one that hit home early. Comparison is a waste of time.
Comparison as in?
Comparing your kids developmentally
to
to other kids is a waste of time.
Oh, okay.
Looking at like, we struggled with this a little bit because Elsie, you know, I joke about this all the time that my daughter has my head size and my eye color and nothing else.
Yeah.
So like she has the 91st percentile head size because
big brain.
Unfortunately, she's got a big ass brain just like her dad. But you know, all of those comparisons that like we see her and she started to slim up and she started to grow and get taller. So when you see her, she's like, oh, she's a big kid now.
Yeah.
She's right in the middle, average height compared to everybody else. Yeah. But like early in Elsie's time, and we even had this with some of our friends where it was like the first kid to sit up. We're like, well, my kid's sitting up at 6 months or my kid's walking at 12 months. It's like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everybody develops.
Grand scheme of things, does not matter.
Yeah. Now, I also understand that it's important to keep an eye on some of those milestones.
Right, sure.
Milestones, excuse me. Elsie goes to that daycare center that is focuses on development, and like they have a handful of developmental like milestones they try to track, but it's not the end of the world if you aren't there when they say this is when most folks do it. It's just, okay, this is something we know we need to work on.
Right.
But particularly with the physical development stuff, like Else didn't walk until later than what would probably have been known as normal.
Yeah.
She runs around like a crazy wild beast now, man.
Right,
it does not
fine.
matter. It does not change anything. So, and it can just kill, worrying about that kind of stuff can just kill your excitement.
Right.
Like, oh my God, my kid's not walking in the end.
When's this going to happen?
And the neighbor kid's walking or whatever. Like, that's a joy killer.
Dude.
Like that, I mean, not to do the, you know, whatever, does this thing bring you joy thing or whatever, Marie Kondo, but like that kills your joy. There's just that is a worthless thought process. Don't worry about that kind of stuff.
Try having kids the same time your sibling has kids.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Like you've got one that's 1 month older and 1 month younger. It's unbelievable.
Comparison. Or
sure.
It's not anymore, but especially with our first, I mean, every month it's like, well, Cade's doing this. What's Liam doing? Well, Liam's doing this. What's Cade doing? And it's like, yeah, like, chill the F out.
This doesn't matter.
Like, it does not. And it's like, when they're that young, a month is eternity for
sure.
them, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is such a big, And so that was one of the most frustrating things as a parent when we just had Liam was the constant comparison. But yeah. And then, too, it's funny that you said that, too, comparing your kids to each other. Because I know, like, Liam, he was an early walker.
Yeah.
Brody wasn't.
Yeah.
And, like, it got to the point where he's like, well, Liam was walking at 9 months. Brody's a year old, and he's not walking. Like, what's going on? And it's like, relax. Like,
he didn't want to.
That was the thing. He didn't want to. And like you said, now he is a crazy person.
Yeah.
All about
throwing himself off stairs and stuff.
Yeah, so, man, that's a really, really good one that you just you hit on there. The last one I have is just the importance of one-on-one time. I'm really, really, really noticing it now with the boys, especially Liam. You know, like me and him went to Waffle House the other day for breakfast.
I'm so proud of you for taking him there.
Yeah, and it's just rules. like man, like if you have just a little bit of one-on-one time with him, like throughout the week, he is a totally different kid. You know, because you know, and both kids, they love the attention being all on them. You know, so it's like if you can have some one-on-one time with them, then that's great. And I know we tried to do it in the past when they were younger, and I mean I don't think they was quite ready for it yet, or it didn't really matter.
Didn't make as much. Impact.
It didn't make as. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it didn't make as much of an impact for him at that point. But now, like I said, especially with Liam getting older, like it is, and it's funny too because it's like they're into different things. You know, Liam loves waffles, so that's why I went to Waffle House.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
they got pecan waffles in there.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, we did chocolate chip waffles, but yeah, and Brody, he's he just loves like doing stuff. So it's like we'll go to the Discovery Center with him and do individual time, but and like we're trying to divide and conquer. So it's like whenever I'm doing one-on-one time with Liam, Allie's doing one-on-one time with Brody,
100%,
and vice versa. You know?
Well, that's by design.
Yeah,
and you're gonna get to do that for about a couple more months,
and that's what I'm so. Dude,
you're going to zone, baby.
Yeah, I'm so interested to see how this goes once the third one gets here. Because like you said, we'll be outnumbered at that point. So it's like but we'll figure it out. You know,
all you got to do is get a dog, and then you can have the dog watch one of the older ones.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a
minute. Well, you said that's your last one, so I've got a laundry list of things over here. But like,
I think so much.
I think, well, yeah, no, we definitely did. I think the big one for me is that even little tiny kids are way more intelligent than you give them credit for.
Dude, for real.
Like they pick up so much so fast. Little kids in particular are sponges.
Yeah.
And so give them the benefit of the doubt as often as you can. You know, I hated baby talk before I had kids. And so that was something that I was super passionate about when Elsie got here, was that we're not going to baby talk this kid.
Right.
We had him on, Nathan Carter. Nate told me about
Yeah.
this early. Like, they talk to their kids in a very matter-of-fact adult way. And I really, really liked that. That resonated with me. And so we try to do that with Else. And it's unbelievable how fast she picks things up.
Yeah.
Or how fast she can repeat things that I really don't want her to repeat. Or things that I say or things that I do. It's like, oh shit, she's listening all the time. All the time she's listening.
Or paying attention. Like you'll do something you don't even think they're paying attention to. You're looking at you, and then they'll go over and do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Elsie starts saying, God dang it.
Yeah.
God dang it. Because I have made an effort to not cuss around her as best as I can, which is a struggle, to be clear. But she says, God dang it, when she gets frustrated. It's like, that absolutely comes from me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one who's frustrated and won't say God damn it anymore or whatever. You know, like, I'm trying not to cuss around my kid.
Good for you.
And so
Good for you.
she, like, it's hilarious to hear a little 2-year-old go, God dang it. God dang it.
Right.
Dang it.
Our phrase with the boys is, oh, man.
Oh, man. But I like the idea of, you know, like, you see some of these people talk about it online where it's like, you don't do the baby talk thing. You won't speak in full sentences, but we're going to use proper grammar.
Yeah.
Or we're going to use the real word. If they say, I want Wawa. It's like, yeah, water. I'll definitely get you a water.
Right.
Do you want it in a cup or a bottle?
Right.
You know, we're definitely going to do that, and we're going to speak in full sentences. We're going to speak to you like you're an adult. Treat them like an adult. I mean, yeah, it's a kid. You can't do that all the time.
Right.
But, like,
that
one was a big one for me,
Yeah.
is that they're way more intelligent than you ever would have thought.
Yeah. That's well, and it's funny, man. Like, you were talking about the screen time earlier, and that it kind of hit home for me a while ago too with Liam. You know, he would, same thing. I'm sitting there on my phone while it's movie time. You know, they're just sitting there watching a movie, and I'm sitting there on my phone. He, same thing, grabs my phone, and then he's just walking around with it, just looking at it like he has his little thumbs on it. And I'm like,
absolutely.
Well, I got nobody to blame but myself on that one.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, man, like, if they're paying attention to that, what else are they paying attention?
There's
to?
a reason the 2-year-olds know how to scroll now.
Oh.
Right,
dude.
Like,
so that's the thing
no bueno.
we do with Liam before bed is he wants to watch baby videos of him and Brody when they were little.
Awesome.
And so I pull up my videos on my phone, and he literally, I don't have to do anything. He'll scroll through the videos, click which ones he wants to watch.
That's crazy.
And I'm just like, good night.
That's nuts. I've got 10,000 of these, but I think we're probably good there.
Yeah.
I do think we can't not do everybody's favorite part of the podcast.
It's been so long. I almost forgot what's everybody's favorite part.
It's Dad Joke of the Week.
Oh, yes.
Dad joke time.
Everybody's favorite part.
I've got an uncle joke for sure.
Mine's pretty family friendly.
Good. So we got Elsie tickets to the aquarium for Christmas. And by that, I mean, Liv and I got tickets to the Wonders of the Wildlife Aquarium.
Because she's still free?
Because she's still free.
Yes.
But I was thinking about like zoos
Milk
and aquariums.
that as long as you can.
Heck yeah, dude. So I've got a buddy that works at the Dickerson Park Zoo.
It's a great zoo.
Yeah, it's a really good zoo, actually. And his job, he circumcises the elephants. It's a big job, as you can imagine. The pay, unfortunately, isn't great, but the tips are huge.
Yeah, I bet they are.
I'm a child.
I bet they are. Yeah, you could say the guy has his hands full.
There it is. Nice work. What about you? What do you got?
Well, mine is, like I said, way more family friendly. I mean, it's funny that you brought up a dog earlier. So that was a present that we got for the boys this year. So you'll be surprised when you come to our house.
No way.
We got a dog on Christmas Day, and lo and behold, of course it's a puppy, so it eats everything. Mm-hmm. Ate a whole string full of Christmas lights.
Nice.
So
that happens.
Yeah, we had to take him to the vet and get those removed. Uh-huh. Needless to say, the puppy is delighted. Delighted.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, one good one.
Way to go, buddy.
Yeah.
That's
give it a
solid.
day.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's probably all we've got for today, right?
I think so. Yeah, let's
Awesome.
wrap it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching,
Yep.
and I hope you guys have enjoyed our first year. Welcome back to
And
season
we are back.
2.
Yeah.
I think we do all the like, share, and subscribing things that you can on all the different social media platforms. And without anything else,
I got nothing.
Nope. All right. Then without further ado, we'll see you next time. Ready?
I was born ready.